In only 10 years between 1830 and 1840, 2,000 miles of railway were built right across Britain. Investors thought that railways would be the next big thing and contributed heavily to new schemes. This period of enormous investment became known as Railway Mania. Another period of mania took hold in the 1840s, when nearly 9,000 miles of new railways were proposed. But only 5,000 miles of those would be constructed in the following decade. Successful railway ventures made some people very rich, but other schemes failed. These investors lost vast sums of money or even faced bankruptcy. But investors did have one thing right. Railways were the next big thing. They quickly gained popularity, with Queen Victoria taking her first railway journey in 1842. Further periods of railway building occurred throughout the Victorian age. Eventually, 20,000 miles of railways would be constructed throughout Britain, with small branch lines linking towns and villages, including the Severn Valley Railway. Private companies built the railways, but government approval was required first. An Act of Parliament had to be passed for each new railway, outlining the proposed route. Any objections to the Act could cause construction delays and additional costs. If a proposed route had to be changed, railway companies had to get a new Act passed. Parliament passed the first Severn Valley Railway Act in 1853, but a local landowner, Thomas Whitmore, later insisted that the railway would spoil the view from his mansion. He wanted expensive tunnels to hide the railway. Eventually, rerouting the line and paying compensation to Mr. Whitmore persuaded him to allow the railway to cross his estate. Additional changes to this original route were made elsewhere to reduce costs. All these changes meant that it was necessary to get a second Act of Parliament for construction of the Severn Valley Railway. This was passed in July 1855. Thomas Whitmore, the sceptical landowner who hadn't wanted the railway to spoil his view, later cut down trees so that he could see the trains better.